them. As Shin whirls their car the other way, a patrolman tells someone that the dragon has arrived and is heading towards the back, hearing which Wang says they should properly welcome their guests. Jang tells Yisu that he really is amazing, so he asks why they're targeting him before Kaido fires a gun as Jang angrily whirls around, and Shogo says they got bored watching, asking Yisu if they shouldn't wrap it up now as Yisu notices the bullet wound on his torso. Shogo tells Kaido that he can see now why he and Nabu lost. But it doesn't matter if they lose, because no matter how many times his arms and legs break, he can get back up again and again. As long as he can get adjusted, he can rush at him countless times, handing him a gun. He says he can still move this arm. As Jang and Yisu are sparring, he barely dodges an attack and remarks he would have lost his head if he moved a second too late. Yisu is already heavily injured, so he should have the upper hand in terms of physical strength, but that isn't the case. He tells Yisu that he isn't an easy opponent and would have taught him better if he had known this would happen, to which he tells him to stop spouting crap because he shouldn't have made them like that in the first place, and starts asking Jang what he takes them before suddenly getting interrupted as Kaido fires a bullet at his torso. Wang remarks that they said the world is changing, that's why they need a new balance and new characters to match it. But what they do now is no different from what was done 15 years ago, which is why they can't change anything. Whether it's the past or present, they're still trying to set fire on each other. As the car turns the corner and Dogyeong steps out, Wang says he seriously can't get used to it, no matter how many times he's seen it, and asks who he is this time, the intelligent Baek Yisu or the director, Baek Dogyeong. He answers that he would have normally taken this as a joke, but doesn't have the mood for it right now, telling him to get lost or they can just show themselves in. Wang remarks that he'd thought they'd at least be shown some appreciation for waiting so long, but it seems like he's in a hurry, which Dogyeong agrees to since there are people waiting for him. Suddenly they hear a gunshot and turn towards where the sound came from before Dogyeong angrily calls Yisu's name and rushes towards Wang before a party of cars arrive behind them, and Wang says she's here too as Zeolon steps out of a car and asks how they could start the part without her, telling them to just watch as she clears the way and takes care of this fake Chinwoong. As Kaido fires the gun, Shogo tells him to finish it and to quickly try this one more time, so he shakily starts firing more rounds, but Yisu ducks behind a logistics car as Shogo tells Kaido to aim carefully this time since he's got one bullet left, but Jang kicks the gun away from his hand and asks Shogo if he's gone crazy using a gun here, asking if he didn't already tell him that this isn't Japan. Shogo asks if he feels guilty towards him for not letting them use a gun, so Jang takes his out and angrily says he's going to be the one who kills them at the very least, so Shogo tells him to go ahead and take care of him since he doesn't care about trash like him anyway before Dogyeong arrives, remarking that they can't call his younger brother trash. He says this is why he told father that this trash must get disposed of before asking Yisu who bullied him and who he should kill first. Shogo madly remarks that the real deal is actually different and calls him reckless before asking how he got in since Chinwoong should have been guarding the entrance, to which he answers that he's busy because of being caught up in a family feud, which is why he needs to just focus here so that they can handle things amongst themselves. Gu asks Wang why he let Tison in since they're far superior in numbers, but he answers that he understood Director Gu's words. If they tolerate some sacrifices and drag them into a war of attrition, they'll have the upper hand, and asks if his calculation of that sacrifice include his own life. He says he's still injured, to which Wang remarks that he never expected much from him anyway and asks what their subordinates can learn from him, asking Zeolon if he's right. She tells everyone to not step forward as Wang says the White Lotus he nurtured is coming after him as she rushes at him. He dodges an attack and says she'll stick her knife in his head on top of that, but the attack's too straightforward and there won't be much progress if that's the case before the car's headlights suddenly turn on, blinding him as she swipes at him. He barely manages to dodge, but Zeolon presses on and keeps cornering him, calling it a golden opportunity. He dodges and says she's improved a lot before she inwardly tells her to not give him any openings. He says her eagerness got in the way though, and he always said her impatience was her problem, kicking her dagger away before punching her in the face as she realizes her mistake before starting to get pummeled from all directions and falling down. Nabu angrily steps forward and tells Dogyeong to give his all before Shin asks what's wrong with him and says he'll deal with him, while the boy picks up Kaido's gun and asks how a normal member of society is allowed to carry this around, telling him to just lie down and behave to get him to overlook it. Jang watches Dogyeong stepping forward and says the situation is getting complicated, so he should secure Yisu first, but sees that he's disappeared before Yisu pounces on him from above and the two clash blades. Dogyeong asks Shogo's lackeys what they're doing and tells them to come at him, hearing which they angrily rush at him, but he takes his dagger out and swiftly starts slashing them all one after another before calling one disgusting for rushing at him from behind. A guard looking from afar remarks that he's really fast and easily takes them all on despite his movements being simple. He rushes at Dogyeong and asks what he can do against these numbers, so he tells them to stop it because he's busy before a man says he told him to step aside, and effortlessly throws the guard away before Lee stops him and tells him to go to Baek Yisu since they'll take care of the situation from now. As they're fighting, Jang says Yisu's movements are slower than before and kicks him in the stomach before Dogyeong slashes him in the face, angrily remarking that he finally managed to land a blow. The wings of a once promising crane have been broken for a long time. It was a structure that placed Chairman Lee Seung-hak at the pinnacle once, but those swords have long been broken and the teeth have worn down. A crane standing precariously with its broken wings, that is now the state of Lee Seung-min's talent. The lackeys remark that this guy is from Tison and ask where he's going before the man starts pummeling them one after one, and his partner swiftly slashes through them with his dagger, as even on those curved wings, new feathers are growing. It will become even sharper and grow better wings. The wings that came back after enduring the pain, they will be bigger and stronger as the composition of Lee Seung-min begins to flap its wings. The guards angrily ask where they came from before the man. Jang Si-young slams him away as the other one Gujun cuts one's arm off. The guard says he'll take care of the chairman, and they decide to leave the rest to the two of them as they ask themselves how they found these two men. The chairman instructed them to create a new 9-blade, so they went around the country to find talented people, among whom the first one was Jang Si-young. He was a professional boxer until he lost an eye in an accident during sparring ahead of the game when the opposing player threw a punch bare-handed, which was how his career was over. The chairman must have heard the story somewhere too. The opponent was Ru Ti-hyung. He asks if he's aiming for revenge, to which Lee answers that the one he wants revenge against is actually in front of him, Gujun, the son of Myung-hwan, the first disciple of the former 9 Blades. Shin wonders if those are the two new guys and wonders if Boris is still busy, which is a shame since he's been studying English a bit, dodging an attack. He tells Nabu to take it easy and lie down, to which he answers that he'll actually die if he does that. A guard grabs Shin from behind, after which Nabu strikes his axe, but he rolls over and dodges, telling Nabu that even if he's drugged that's too much before the guards all surround him. Dogyeong asks Yisu if he's alright, and if that's the boss since it's the first time he's seen him in person, telling Jang that he would have been immediately done for if he had crossed paths with him earlier while flipping him a finger. Dogyeong asks if everyone who meets him always considers him to be a god. He asks Yisu how he's doing, so he clutches his wound and says he's fine, so he'll endure it. Seeing this, Dogyeong tells him to just sit there since he'll be done with this quickly. As the two start fighting, he remarks that he can't believe he's using that blade and asks if this really is the level of a thug. Dogyeong uses his knee to attack before kicking him in his face, remarking that he's landed 2 blows with this. The two jump back and Jang remarks that he turned out to be stronger than he'd thought before stopping, as Shogo remarks that it doesn't matter who it is. Dogyeong angrily asks what he's doing, and if he's gone crazy before he lifts his sword over Yisu, saying that Tison will become the grave of 2 brothers. In Baek Roman 20, federal informant Punchkick alias Baek Yisu becomes embroiled in a dangerous web of deception with his twin brother Baek Dogyeong, who leads a criminal gang. Betrayed by the gang, Yisu assumes his brother's identity